We will now have a short reading from the Chandi by Swami Satyananda Saraswati, and the information is on the YouTube channel of where you can reach and get this book as well. So if you remember the last time we were speaking, the goddess destroyed the thought of ego and all the other army of thoughts that were plaguing the divinity, the gods. And then the gods praised the Creator by saying, "O Goddess, Creator of wishes, with what can your valor be compared? You appear to the enemies with your excessive beauty. Where is a form beyond your own? Kindness and heart and severity in battle, in all three worlds, these can only be seen in you." Then the gods sang the praises of the Creator of the perceivable universe and worshipped her with flowers and perfume and other items of the garden of delight. When all united in the fullest heavenly devotion and offered incense, fragrance, and food, then they all bowed to the goddess in obeisance, and in serene countenance she spoke to them. The goddess said, "I will grant you the fulfillment of your desires." The god said, "O Supreme Empress, you have fulfilled our every desire, and there is nothing that remains undone. Our enemy, the great ego, has been slain. O great seer of all, beyond that, your desire to grant us a boon? Then whenever we will remember you, then and there, please give us your intuitive vision and remove our greatest distress. And O Mother of the Universe, whatever humans praise you with these verses, may you increase their knowledge, prosperity, and wisdom. O Mother, always be pleased with us and grant us welfare and prosperity." When the gods prayed for the welfare of themselves and the world, the Excellent One beyond time, the Divine Mother, was pleased, and saying, "Let it be so," she vanished from sight. However, in another time, there were two other thoughts, self-conceit and self-deprecation, who with the abundance of their excessive self-conceit took over the heavens. These two assumed the dominion of the gods and the heavens, over the light of wisdom and devotion, over the Lord of wealth, the Lord of control, the Lord of equilibrium, and made them all subservient. These two defeated the gods, assumed their authority, and spoiled the kingdom. And with disrespect, all the gods were put out of the heaven, having been thus insulted by the two great thoughts. The gods remembered the invincible goddess at this time and thought of the boon that the Mother of the Universe had given to them. In any time of adversity, if you remember me, then and there I will eradicate your every distress. Thinking thus, the gods went to the king of the mountains in the Himalayas, and there began to extol the goddess, the supreme goddess, the great measurement of consciousness that pervades all. The gods said, "We bow to the goddess, to the great goddess, to the energy of infinite goodness. At all times we bow. We bow to nature, to the Excellent One. With discipline we have bowed down. To the reliever of sufferings we bow. to the eternal, to the embodiment of rays of light, to the creatrix, to she who manifests light, to the form of devotion, to happiness, continually we bow. To the welfare of those who bow, we bow to change, to perfection, to dissolution, to the wealth that sustains the earth, to the wife of consciousness, to you we bow, we bow. To she who removes difficulties, to she who removes beyond all difficulties, to the essence, to the cause of all, to perception and the doer of all, to the unknowable one, continuously we bow to her. To the extremely beautiful and to the extremely fierce, we bow to her. We bow, we bow, we bow to the establisher of the perceivable universe, to the goddess, to all action we bow. To the divine goddess in all existence, who is addressed as the perceivable form of consciousness that pervades all, we bow to her, we bow to her, we bow to her, we continually, we bow to her. To the divine goddess who resides in all existence in the form of desire, we bow to her, we bow to her, we bow to her, we continuously bow to her. To the divine goddess who resides in all existence in the form of all living beings, we bow to her, we bow to her. To her we continually bow. To the divine goddess who resides in all existence in the form of activity, we bow to her, we bow to her, we bow to her, continually we bow to her. To the divine goddess who resides in all existence in the form of recollection, we bow to her, we bow to her, we continually bow to her. To the divine goddess who resides in all existence in the form of satisfaction, we bow to her, we bow to her, we bow to her. To the divine goddess who resides in all existence in the form of the mother, we bow to her, we bow to her, we bow to her, continually we bow to her. Presiding over the senses of all being and pervading all existence, to the omnipresent goddess who individualizes creation, we bow, we bow. In the form of consciousness, she distinguishes the individual phenomena of the perceivable universe. We bow to her, we bow to her, we continually bow to her. In days of old, all the gods, led by Indra, the ruler of the pure, sang these verses of praise for the purpose of accomplishing their desired objective of surrendering the ego in the light of wisdom. And for many days they sang these praises to the Divine Mother. May she, the seer of all, the Lord of all, the source of all good, perform similarly for us all auspicious things, by putting an end to all of these desires. We gods have been harassed by arrogant thoughts in the manner of humans. And at this time, all of us gods bow to the seer of all, who when bowed to with devotion and remembered in a physical image, immediately terminates our every adversity. Just as the gods were singing that hymn of praise, the goddess of nature came there to bathe in the Ganges. That supreme empress with beautiful eyebrows asked the gods, whose praise is being sung here? Then from within herself an auspicious form manifested and said, self-conceit and self-deprecation. Two terrible thoughts have defeated the gods and insulted them, and so all the gods have collected here and are singing praises to you. And as the mother of the universe emerged from within the goddess of nature, she is known to the worlds as she who comes from within. After the manifestation of she who comes from within, the whole body of nature became dark and consequently became a goddess who dwells in the Himalayas, distinguished as the remover of darkness, known as Mother Kali. And from there, they began the conquest of the two thoughts, too much, self-conceit and self-deprecation. And we'll read that further tomorrow. Bole Baba Ki Jai, Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai.